Arts Foundation Artist in Residency program at this unique national park has also made headlines over the years as being a unique artist in residence destination. And we're excited to have photographer, sculptor, and mixed media artist Nick Collier back on the show today, who is the current artist in residence. And we also have the National Park Arts Foundation founder and photographer Tanya Ortega joining us. And I want to tell everyone, go to nationalparkartsfoundation.org. This is just such a cool program. I use the word unique a lot. I know I got to get a new one. Maybe I need a residency, but it is really unique. Where else can you go stay at in the volcanoes in Hawaii? Go into that park. Go to the Dry Tortugas in Florida, the Keys. Go to Chaco Cultural Historical Park and be amongst the ancient dwellings. So all of these things is what this park does, this park foundation. For artists, musicians, writers, poets, photographers, filmmakers, you name it. I mean, this is a really unique program to be able to go hang out in a park, whether you're staying in the park or just on the outside. It's a month of art and exploration and creativity. So check it out, nationalparkartsfoundation.org. They're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And go look at Nick's work. Nick is cool. Go to nickcollier.com. He's also on Instagram at CollierN001 because he wants those zeros in there. Welcome back, Tanya. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Hey, it is awesome to have you back on, and really cool to have Nick back on, too, because, Nick, this is your third residency. The first time we chatted with you was you had just come back from Big Bend, and you were on your way to Gettysburg. So, I mean, this, again, just shows the, complete, different, unique residency opportunities. But welcome back for the second time. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thanks again for having me back. It's a real treat, and coming to you live from Hawaii.
I know. See, people are all freaked out. Like, how can you be doing this? Like, isn't, all the islands are up in flames and lava and smoke? But you're both here, and Tanya, this is the second time you've been on since the eruptions over at volcanoes over there, which is, I mean, that's unique in itself. So, Nick, I just want to say, you've got this awesome house. You're on the outskirts of the park, and do you feel safe?
Oh, completely safe. Except for the fire rain and the dense smoke and the snakes that are constantly. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like,
no.
Dude.
It's definitely not. It's really
No.
I'm like, why are snakes always a part of our radio conversation?
It's always in the air. Snakes in Hawaii. I love it here. That's one of the biggest reasons I love it. No snakes.
Are you kidding me? I'm moving right now. No, I love snakes. So you're loving it. Tanya, you've been safe throughout this time since last month that we chatted?
Yes.
Okay. This is good for people to know because someone had posted up on Facebook a map of the Hawaiian Islands. Like, hello, everybody. This is the map of the islands, and here's the portion of the volcanoes, and what was where the eruptions are happening, and it looked to me to be quite small compared to the rest of the chain of islands. Is that true, Tanya?
I think that we might have posted that, believe it or not.
Well, I do follow you quite frequently.
There was one I heard about today that somebody actually drew a picture, printed a map out by hand and drew this is where I am. This is where the lava is, and it's like a tiny little dot. But the media just, it's an eruption. These. I mean, I can't even imagine what the people are feeling. I heard today it's over 700 homes. People are being displaced. This is horrible for people. But a lot of people, especially in Europe, I've been getting phone calls. Here at the foundation, people are dealing with vetting phone calls of people thinking that all of Hawaii is covered in lava, which certainly isn't true. And we've seen a real... the effects of that are just tremendous. And by effects, I mean people with tourism. Even the cruise ships have stopped going to different ports. because they see the media and are, it's media. What are we going to say? What's real? Nobody knows.
Well, that's why I'm so glad you're both calling from Hawaii. And Nick, I know that you are on the Big Island. That's where the Volcanoes National Park is, on the south side, right? Or is it the south side or the south point? You never know.
The area is called South Point. Well, really in area originally called, if you want to go back in history, as I've been learning the area a little bit, was called Mark Twain Estates, and now it's called Discovery Harbor, which is where the house is located. But it's in South Point as far as the region of the island, which is in the Ka'u district of the island, which pretty much encompasses the southern rim of the island, the park down a little bit farther towards South Kona. But the volcano itself is a drive from the house, first of all. So if anybody's worried about my safety or the park or the house itself or any of the effects of the volcano, it's as Tanya was saying, it's a horrible, it's devastating to see the families that are dealing with it, the destruction that it's caused so far. But as you guys were talking about the map of the island, I'm picturing in my head the Eames Power of 10 video, and if you keep zooming in on the island, the Power of 10, that it comes down to a very, in relation to the rest of the island, a very small portion of it. So it's really more, as we were talking about earlier before the call, the effects of the volcano. You have the fog that is pushed by the trade winds across the island, which creates kind of a haze over towards the Kona side. And then you've got the new term that I've learned since I've been here, laze, which is the effects of the molten lava falling into the ocean, and which creates a sulfur-based fume. Those two things are kind of the only real noticeable effects that I've personally been part of. You can't get close to. I tried to, like a moth to a flame. As soon as I get here, first thing I want to do is go find the lava, right? So the first day I went out to that side of the island and drove around, and you can't even get anywhere near it unless I guess you're media based. But the National Guard and police, local police, have all the roads closed off and such. But safe and sound here. The only one downside of this so far is that it's closed the national park. The one caveat, or maybe side note bonus to that, is that near the house is a new addition to the park called the Kahuku unit, which is open, and gets a little bit of it, but it's farther down from the volcano, down the Mauna Loa slope towards South Point.
So for you, I mean, what are you focusing on art-wise? Talking about, okay, the park's closed on this side, but there's a smaller portion. Sometimes that's an interesting thing because there's a different challenge. It's being looking at things more microscopically in a way of just what am I looking at, kind of thing. So what are you focusing on for your art? And is it mixed media? Or are you going in the photography world? And do you have your homemade box camera with you?
First, several challenges created by, number one, location, travel to location, and then the effects of the volcano on the park. But to answer the box camera question, that did not make it out here for this trip. I was fortunate on the last two residencies that I was able to drive to them so I could bring it. It is rather large if you've seen it in the photos, and cumbersome and heavy because it's made of solid oak, and to get it out here I would have had to build a crate for it because it's sort of fragile. The logistics didn't work for this residency, so that created a challenge for me, yes, but one that I welcome. And so photography work will have to be digital and film based, or anything in that media. I'm still developing ideas as far as what the rest of the residency is going to produce. That might be sculptural based. I'm not completely sure just yet. This first week has really just been kind of a whirlwind of immersion, really, and learning the history of the area where I'm staying. And even though my access to the park is limited, I still want to create work that's park-based. And as I was saying, the Kahuku unit that's open near me has a really unique history in itself. The history of the neighborhood where I'm living has a kind of unique history because it's this, and I've talked to Tanya about this already. I've gone kind of back in their neighborhood history, and it's the house is in a planned community that was built around, actually, as I've found out digging a little bit, a world-class golf course, which is now, for the most part, other than I think about 6 holes that they have to keep operational in order to sell the neighborhood as a golf course. The rest of it's all overgrown. But wow. There's history within the area there, especially as I was saying. It used to be called Mark Twain Estates because of Mark Twain's history in the area. It's the same area where Captain Cook, first landed on the island. It's the same place where the native peoples originally landed on the Hawaiian island chain before they moved up the chain. It's the park area. The Kuku unit has a military history in that, on the north side of the island, Waimea, during World War II, was 50,000 Marines actually came through the island training for what would ultimately be the Iwo Jima assault, which is the
wow.
most famous thing in Marine Corps history. So that directly relates to my Marine Corps service. And then also in the Kahuku unit, it was what would ultimately be, they had a radar station that was positioned there, really secretive, but it was designed to be part of basically a chain of radar stations throughout the islands to detect aircraft and everything else coming through the Pacific Theater. But as far as I can tell, and I can't 99% sure about this, it seems that actually was the first usage of radar in a war theater. So that's kind of, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Because Americans weren't involved in, that much of the war, right? And then that all came about. The Pacific Theater was really like the tip of it. Cool stuff like that. So I've, like I said, I've just really been trying to soak up as much knowledge as I can. One of the park employees that I've met sent me a dump of PDFs of information based on the Kuku unit specifically. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. Still things are in this kind of stew that's boiling and waiting to see what comes out from it.
I think this is really, I think challenges are always good because it takes you in directions that you never thought of. There's always this other way. And, I'm number one, really glad that you still continue on with residency because I know some people probably would think twice. I know a park travel photographer, Sandra Ramos, who her and her husband went there to celebrate their anniversary. They went to Hawaii, and she's like, "I'm going. No one's stopping me. I'm going." And she's one of she's one of those travelers going to every single park unit in the country and the U.S. territories. And it's so interesting when you see footage and also the military history.
Fortunate on the last 2 residencies, though, that